Welcome to Los Angeles, where David Beckham has begun his first training session here at LA Galaxy. I'm joined now by Fox Soccer Channel's Nick Webster. Nick, if we can ask you to step down this side, we will now take a look at David Beckham. He has pulled on the shirt for the first time, and in front of these fans who have been queuing for a while, Beckham is now out in the Californian sunshine. And Nick, as we see David warming up, just explain what the reaction has been like here in Los Angeles in the last couple of days.
Well, the media explosion has been completely mind-boggling. Every news organisation, every newspaper, every magazine, they all want a piece of David Beckham. And of course, Victoria's been doing the rounds of the chat shows as well. It's been quite overwhelming. As we watch him here, just stretching, how do you think he's feeling? Because it has been a whirlwind. When we saw him arriving at Los Angeles airport, even he couldn't have expected the reaction he got. Well, you've got to say that since he arrived, it's been non-stop 24 hours. And you've got to say that jet lag at some point is going to kick in. And of course, he's got this ankle injury that everybody has speculated about and whether he's going to be fit on Saturday. We hear the crowds cheering as he walks towards one part of the main stands here at what the LA Galaxy fans call the Home Depot Centre. A lot of attention, Nick. Has this been a celebrity signing, or is this a football signing? Well, according to Alexi Lalas and CEO Tim Lewicki, they're thinking of making LA Galaxy a super club along the lines of Real Madrid, Manchester United, Juventus. And by signing David Beckham, they are saying that they've made a statement of intent. They intend to go to the upper echelons of football. And you'd have to say that at the moment that is true. But on the other hand, this is Hollywood and celebrity signings rule the roost. How excited have the sports media been? Because obviously the temptation's to talk about the celebrity aspect too much, but has there been much debate about how he will settle into this side? Well, I think, to be honest with you, many of the sports journalists don't understand the game of football, so the expectations on David Beckham are completely out of control. It's almost as though he's expected to score a hat-trick every game. As you know, the LA Galaxy are second bottom in the Western Conference. The team is very, very poor at the moment. They're not playing very well. Beckham's meant to come here and change things around. That's not going to happen. And I think until they understand the game a little bit better, the expectations will always be completely out of control. You mentioned the jet lag earlier. Alexi Lalas told us a short time ago on Skysports News that they are planning to tour Europe. There's the plan of Asia, possibly England as well within that tour of Europe. That's an enormous strain on David, isn't it? Well, you've got to say that Lalas probably has visions of the LA Galaxy being the new New York Cosmos. They were known for travelling around the world, playing multi-million-dollar exhibition games, and I think Lalas wants the same from the Galaxy. If Beckham's going to make the England commitment that he says he wants to keep, I mean, you've got to say that it's going to be an impossibility physically. Interesting to note that at the moment Beckham is quite a bit away from the main team, the main squad, and that's a point that Frank Yallop made, that he is still carrying this ankle injury. Well, you've got to say that they've been doing some work, and I have some sources inside the Galaxy camp, and I mean, there is some rumours going around that the injury could be a little bit worse than first reported. They're saying it's a sore ankle, but there could be some ligament damage, and they're working on it, I'd say, pretty heavily right now, because obviously they want him fit for this Chelsea game. This game is going to be beamed live throughout America on ESPN, and so this is a big time event for David to establish himself. And if Ollie and main camera can just pan across to the left so that we see the rest of the LA Galaxy squad. There's a lot of talk of jealousy. I don't know if you can make out just there with a rather distinctive haircut, Abel Xavier, another familiar face here in this LA Galaxy lineup. What's he brought? And also, is there a danger, Nick, that they are jealous? Huge sums of money that are being paid. Well, you've got to say that jealousy is probably rampant throughout the dressing room right now. I don't think the players are jealous with Beckham. I think the problem is with management. Management is seemingly separating Beckham from the rest of the team, and as we all know, that's a disaster. You know, you've got to have chemistry within a football team. Abel Xavier has come in. I saw his first game and he was very, very poor, to be honest with you, completely off the pace, but supposedly in the last 2 weeks he has settled down, and he's brought quite a remarkable Portuguese contingent with him. The entire corner of the stadium was packed with Portuguese replica shirts. But at the moment, of course, it is all about one man, and that is the man over there on the far side of the pitch, David Beckham. He said to us he just wants to get out onto that pitch, targeting, of course, this Chelsea debut, and it could hardly be a more high-profile debut, a reunion with some England teammates. Well, Beckham's a footballer at heart. That's what he does best, the celebrity aside, and I think he does want to get out onto the pitch, and obviously he's come up against John Terry, the man who's taken his England captaincy And you know what? He's going to want to send a message. You've got Joe Cole, you've got Frank Lampard, and I think David Beckham has a lot of pride as a footballer. He still wants to prove that he deserves his spot in the England team, and he still wants to prove to the watching world that he is one of the best footballers in the world.
Are you surprised, Nick, that he has been split up from the side so early? Would you have expected them to have been grouped together more?
Well, with his ankle injury, I think we're seeing that it really is worse than has been reported. I mean, there's no reason for him not to be playing in this keep-away games that the rest of the other players are participating in. But you can see the physical activity needed for the keep-away games is a lot more strenuous than just knocking the ball back and forth to his, what looks like his own personal trainer.
We see the 23 in the back of the shirt. A lot of people say this is all about shirt sales.
Well, if reports are to believe, they've already flogged 250,000 of them at $80 a pop, so they've done quite nicely so far.
Well, Nick Webster at Fox Soccer Channel, thanks very much indeed. So the LA Galaxy players are trailing behind me. In the far corner, David Beckham is warming up. At last we've seen him now in an LA Galaxy shirt.
Brian Swanson, thanks very much indeed. LA not at all confidential. We've all been watching with huge interest as David Beckham starts his training session as an LA Galaxy player. Right, more on David Beckham's first public training session with the LA Galaxy. Beckham ran out with the rest of his Galaxy teammates at the home and debut centre 3 days after the razzmatazz that surrounded his arrival in Los Angeles. But the former England captain then broke away from his teammates to train alone, doing some light work on the ankle that he injured playing for England and aggravated during Real Madrid's title run-in. Galaxy say it was always intention for Beckham to train alone, and they remain confident he will be fit to play a part against Chelsea on Saturday.
The Galaxy are already making plans to cash in on brand Beckham. Alexi Lalas has revealed plans for the Galaxy to tour Europe to help promote the club globally.
Touring this team is a huge part of our business strategy, and it makes sense. You know, we are now a global brand, and we want to make sure that we bring the Galaxy to all corners of the earth. We will be going post-season down to Australia, which is an interesting and an exciting market for us. We will be going over to Asia at a certain point, probably next season for pre-season. And I think that there will be some stops in Europe along the way. They have to be the appropriate time, because obviously our seasons overlap and we're playing at a different time. But I would definitely think that you are going to see the Galaxy along with David Beckham at a certain point here in Europe in the near future.